the "I didn't realize you liked me that way" deal. Because it's one thing to receive McDonald's, but an entirely other thing to know that they woke up early to face the world and bring you McDonald's breakfast still hot in the bag.
Appreciate you.
There's a deal for every morning. Now grab 2 loaded sausage burritos for only $3. Prices and participation may vary. Single item at regular price. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to Woman in Progress. So, here we are, episode 2. Woo woo! Let's celebrate. I didn't think I was going to make it, but here I am. And today I kind of just want to talk about what I think this is going to be in the future. You know, I've said before that I wanted a way to speak about things that I enjoy, and I want to also create something that I can look back on and say, hey, I did it. It wasn't perfect, but I did it and I had fun. So this is what we're doing. We're having fun. I guess I can start by talking about myself, which I also despise. That's like my least favorite question is when people say, tell me about yourself, because that's when I forget everything I've ever known for my last 29 years. I don't know anything about myself at all. I mean, the basics. I'm 29. I'm going to be 30 at the end of April. Where my Taurus babies at, my April babies. And I have always been the type of person who plans everything out. You know, I have a life plan. I have what I want to do with this, and this. Like my Pinterest board is ridiculous. Hundreds of thousands of pens. Everything organized meticulously. Like each board has a board within a board to keep it that organized. So that's the type of person I am. But I'm also like free-spirited and very like head in the clouds. So balancing those two sides of myself my whole life has been like a struggle. And now I'm at a point where I'm going to be in my 30s and I'm really reevaluating my whole situation. You know, I'm looking at things that I have accomplished and I'm looking at things that I haven't accomplished yet, and I'm confused. Like, that's not how this should be because I'm a planner. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And I've slowly come to realize that me planning is just a big joke because I don't have any say on how things are going to go. You know, that's for who, you know, whatever you believe, whether it's God or you believe the universe. You know, I have a combination, I think, of those two. Like, I know there's a higher power out there, but I'm also very in tune with how the universe works, and, you know, everything is set in motion in a particular way, and it's supposed to happen the way it's supposed to happen. So for me, when I was upset the other day and I had this idea pop in my head, I knew it was a sign from the universe. I was like, this is it. And if I don't write this down, I'm going to wake up in the morning and forget that this ever happened, and it's going to be my fault. So I literally told myself to stop crying and grab a pen so that I could write this idea down. And this is where we're at. And I'm ecstatic about it. I feel like that's how I know this was something that I'm supposed to be doing, because I went from a low to a super high, and now I'm like coasting off that high and seeing where it goes. I can either keep going up or I could plateau and then fall off eventually, which is what I don't want to happen. So I have to step out of my comfort zone and say, hey, you started something, so it's time to finish it. And I know that goes against the whole title, you know, Woman in Progress, but that's the whole point. A work in progress at some point has to become complete. You know, it can't always be a work in progress. But me as a person, and I feel like a lot of people out there, will continue to always be a work in progress. Nobody's ever going to be perfect. You know, we're always going to find new ways to adjust and become better versions of ourselves. And, you know, especially with the whole thing with the pandemic, I feel like so many people, and this will be a whole nother episode probably, but, you know, I had said the other day that a lot of people probably thought their relationships with their boyfriends, girlfriends, wives, husbands was real solid until the pandemic hit, and they realized that being cooped up with that person, you notice things about people that you would have never noticed, right? So, you know, that's how you're constantly learning. And if you can't evolve and continue to work on yourself, you won't make it to the next round or the next level or whatever analogy or, comparison you would like to use. But, that's what makes me feel like it's okay. I'm constantly going to be working on myself. So I'm constantly going to be a work in progress. And until the day I die, I will continue to be a work in progress. I will never be perfect. So I think this is a way for me to put it in perspective by talking about it and saying, hey, I'm not perfect. These are the things I know about. Let's talk about them. These are the things I want to know about. Let's talk about those. And, that's kind of what I want this to be. I want to talk about things that I am knowledgeable about and hear other people's opinions and other people's versions of those things as well. And I feel like people would benefit from that. Like, I think I know all there is to know about, healing crystals and star charts. But in reality, I've only tapped the surface. Now, you want to ask me about Will Smith lyrics, Drake lyrics. Now, I'm the queen. But hey, there could be some other person out there who's better. But, we're going to see. But, those are the things. Like, I want to talk about random stuff. Like, I want to have an open conversation about something each week. Whether I know all there is to know or I know nothing. If I had to research beforehand and bring up the topic and see, that's what I want to do. I want to one week talk about, I don't even know off the top of my head. It'll probably come to me in the middle of the night at 4 a.m. But I just want it to be open. If there's something I don't know about, I would love to have somebody on the show that knows, that can talk to me and explain it to me and explain it to you guys. In a way that's like a conversation, like we're homies, we're hanging out. Like that's what I want it to be. I don't want this to be an infomercial or, National Geographic. I don't want it to be any of that. I want it to feel like you're sitting across from me and we're talking right now. That's what I want it to feel like. I'm human. I curse. I have a potty mouth. I use slang. I use imperfect English, and that's just me. I'm not going to edit all that out. I'm going to leave the parts that feel natural. If I'm saying 17 times in a row, that's what I'm doing. I mean, I'm going to edit it out, but I want to leave those natural moments in there because that's what makes life special, is everybody being different. If we were all edited every second of the day, we would all be the same because, the purpose of editing is to take out the imperfections. So it's like, I know that during this journey, it's going to be rough because I'm going to listen to something 7 or 8 times and want to delete it all, start over, but I can't. I want to just be natural. And the more I do this, I know I'll sound more natural. I'll sound more like myself. I'll sound more fun, and I feel like you guys will hear that too. You'll know the difference from the beginning of the episodes towards the back once I'm 30, 40 episodes in. You'll hear it, and then I feel like we will grow together. And maybe, hey, you'll get inspired to just start your podcast randomly at 4 a.m. as well after having a breakdown. Or, you won't, and that's fine. Maybe it'll inspire you to do something completely different. And that's all I want. I really just want this to be something where it's like we're all hanging out, we're having a good time, we're chatting about things, I'll have my little drink off to the side and we'll be just vibing. Like my whole being runs off of energies and what people's vibes are. If I don't get a good vibe from you, we're probably not going to be friends. But, if I do, if your energy is just addictive, we're perfect. Like I want to hang out with you all the time. For me, that's how I am. I thrive off of knowing like people's vibes and energies and deciding if that's something that I want in my space. And maybe I'm not for them, but I am very particular in that sense. Like that's probably that'll be another episode as well. Vibes, energy, like it's more than just saying you're a vibe. It's like, do you understand what that means? Do you understand what it means to be on the same wavelength or have a higher just all that stuff. Anyway, see, and this is what I'm talking about. Can't edit that out because that's just how I am. I'm all over the place like a whole squirrel. But here is going to be the place where I can be like that. And, there's nobody sitting in front of me right now telling me, girl, pause and start over because you sound crazy. And that's what I'm excited about. I'm going to get to do this and say what I want to say, when I want to say it, how I want to say it. And the only person that's going to hear it back is going to be me in the moment, deciding if I want to leave it in or take it out. And that's going to be fun. Now, when we have other people on the show, I'm going to have to figure out how to keep it as natural as possible without having to edit too much. Okay, so that brings me to my next point. Scheduling. I'm definitely thinking like a once a week type vibe because let's be real, life is hard and sometimes you just don't feel it. But I can definitely commit to once a week to upload my show so that you guys have something to look forward to and I have something to hold myself accountable to. And then after that, we'll kind of just see how it goes. Maybe I'll do a 2-part and then it'll be 2 episodes that week. Maybe I won't. Maybe it'll continue to the next week, but we'll see. We'll kind of play it by ear and just keep it light, keep it fun, no pressure. That way, nobody gets let down. Okay, so now that we got all the technical stuff out of the way, the who, what, when, where, why, I would love for you guys to give me your feedback. Write a little review telling me what you liked, what you didn't like, what you're hoping to see from me, all that good stuff. And after you've done that, share this with somebody, at least one person. It could be somebody you know, somebody you don't know, friends, family. Just share it. Maybe they'll like it. Maybe they won't. But hey, sharing something is free. I just want to let you guys know that I am so excited and it's been fun. Even though I've only done 2 episodes, I'm having a good time and I'm really excited to see where this goes. And I appreciate you all from the bottom of my little heart. And I cannot wait to get started on this content and get started on next week's episode. And maybe I'll do like a little trailer on like my Instagram, which I finally made for this. So, it's official when you make an Instagram. Just kind of giving a sneak peek of what next week is going to be. I think that's what I'm going to do. But we'll see. Nothing's promised. I just want to say again, thank you for coming back a second time, tuning in, listening, and let's keep this going because this is good. This is going to be something good. And with that being said, I hope that you guys have a great evening, a great morning, a great afternoon, whatever time it happens to be wherever you are. And I will see you guys next week on Woman in Progress. Mwah.
I haven't really woken up until I've had my McDonald's breakfast deal. And I know this is true because before breakfast, I put my phone in the refrigerator and couldn't find the keys that were already in my hand.
Nothing gets the morning going like the first sip of an iced coffee. Get any size and any flavor for 99 cents until 11 a.m. Price and participation may vary.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. McDonald's. I'm loving it.